Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quinton Venter, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey guys, welcome to Marketing with Vino. This is episode number 8 and you are in for a ride. You're listening to Quinton, myself, and the amazing Gabs.
Hello, awesome people, and welcome.
Welcome, listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have been the driving force of this show, and I mean, I'm just so grateful and so blessed for actually having the opportunity to speak to you guys and to share this amazing knowledge. And that's why myself and Gabs are here to blow your minds away.
Oh, and you're going to love what we want to talk about today. Yeah, absolutely love. Now, just so you know, a bit of a sneaky confession. We just filmed number 7 episode, and we were a bit on a roll. So we thought, you know what? Let's just record number 8, and keep going, because we had this awesome conversation after we hit stop record that we thought we wanted to share with you, and so we are. So we're still drinking the same wine as we were drinking in episode 7. Forgive us.
Yeah.
The intention is pure.
Well, we can see it this way. We had an amazing episode based on the wine we're drinking. It just makes sense to continue drinking the wine and continue having the conversation.
Exactly. So if this episode gets a little bit out of control, then I'm sure that will be to your enjoyment.
Definitely. So let's just backtrack for the listeners that are tuning in for the first time. Why it is so important to tune into Marketing with Vino, because this episode is all about the why. And I want to tell you a bit of how Marketing with Vino came about. It is Gabby and I, we sat together and we were drinking wine down here in Sydney, and we were having this awesome conversation, and Gabby brought up the point where it is, what if we continue to start to have these conversations and record it? And for the bigger purpose of wanting to help as many service professionals implement the strategies and learn from it to service them, so we could actually help them. So if you're in that boat where you are looking for amazing strategies to grow your business fast and marketing and sales, you're in the right place. So
yeah. Welcome, and awesome to have you on if this is your first time, and if you're back again, welcome back. Fantastic to have you back in. And it is that. Look, we wanted to have a chat with you guys today about why you're in business. You know, most people know what they do and how they do it, but not necessarily why they do it. And so what Quinton's saying here is, you know, there's a reason why we're chatting with you today, and it's because we want to reach as many people as possible with this message, because we want to help people, because we want to see this world be a better place, filled with people achieving their dreams, you know, rocking it at life. Why? It's kind of selfish, because if our environment and our world is happy, then it's a better world to live in. So technically speaking, you know, we may never meet you, and you may be at goodness knows where you live in the world. You know, and it's awesome to know that through podcasts, through this platform, you know, we can actually make a difference on this planet, make this world a better place, make this world a place. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not dissing the world. Make this world, you know, a happier place where there's more and more business owners that are really living a fulfilled life, where they've got the time, the money, the meaning, the freedom, the fulfillment, the happiness, and that all starts, guys, with your why. You know, our why is to share this, spread this, so we can have a better world to live in. There's more to it than that. I'm having a giggle. What's your why? You know, what is your reason for being in business? And for me, you know, when it comes to why, it's really like, it's looking at how can you innovate with your vision for business? How can you actually kind of grow your industry, stretch what everybody else is doing? I've got a couple of businesses, and one of my businesses is a finance brokerage. I specialize in big boys toys, meaning that, you know, that our market is, so we organize finance for motorbikes, boats, cars, big boys toys. And so quite frankly, my business has been really, really heavily leveraged by joint ventures. So what I do is I've got about 38 different dealerships around Australia, motorbike dealerships around Australia, that are too small to have their own finance person in-house, and they use us. So they've got like a virtual, finance person through us. And so last year we decided to build our boat joint venture sort of network. And my business manager is was perfect because my business manager is an ex-world champion water skier and had a lot of contacts within the boat industry.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing, right? The boat industry, for my particular market, has been dominated. There's other brokers that have been there and have completely, just like, they've captured the market, and I could go in and try and get their business, meaning all I'm doing really at this point is going into dealerships that already have brokers in place. They're not sitting there without one. It's already had, the cows go through and do their thing. And I could go in and, this is what we do in business without why. We go in and we go on price.
Yes.
Well, I'll be cheaper, I'll do my thing cheaper. I'll do my things faster. You're literally sitting in the how and what element of business. How I do it will be faster, better, whatever. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, yeah.
So I could have done the same thing. I could have, literally gone to every single boat dealership in my proximity and tried to go in and snip them from their current brokers with a what or a how. This is what I did instead. I got really clear on my why in business. So being in the finance industry for quite some time, where I first started out, I worked at the exact brokership, by the way, that I bought a couple of years ago and I own now. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
So about seven years ago, my first business in the industry died and I was looking for a different thing. I worked at a brokership and learned everything I could. They were the top brokership. They were winning awards, doing all sorts of cool things. Learned everything I could. What I noticed over the years in working within finance was the brokers had no friggin' why. They were all what, how based, meaning that it was literally they'd go out, they'd get alliances, joint ventures with many other dealerships. However, what they were doing was it was all about the money. It was all about feeding their pocket. So what they would do, quite frankly, they'd do silly things. They'd try and rip the customer off and try and charge them the biggest interest rates and sell them everything under the sun, burn the relationship, basically. It was all about fast money, burn the relationship. Therefore, that dealership that just sold that boat or car or bike, would lose that customer because in referring them to that broker, that customer's left looking at their contract after their excitement's gone away and they've got a 16.5% interest rate, and they're not bringing more people back to that dealership. They're not going back to that dealership.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, there was pain. So what I noticed was, within the industry, there was a problem. I didn't like it. I was like, this is BS. Human beings, brokers should be advisors, is what I thought. A broker should be someone who finds you the best deal in the marketplace, not tries to rort you based on your knowledge of what you're doing. So my mission was to align with other businesses and work as a team to build a relationship with other dealerships around the countryside. Work as a team that I'm on their team, and my intention is to have them retain the client, sell more because we can close deals and help them in that area. Yeah. Get people across the line. More importantly, though, look after them so well, like they're a guest in my home, do the best I can for them, that they will come back to that dealership and they'll bring referrals and they'll come back to me. And I literally have people calling me years after getting finance in some situations, ask, like they keep my number just to come back to me and have me do this. So why am I sharing this with you? Because the other day, as I said, we decided to go hit the boat industry. We landed a meeting last week or the week before with a pretty big boat dealership. They do $12 million in sales per year.
Wow.
So they're a big guy, but they don't want they're not in a position where they want their own in-house sales finance person.
Yeah.
Nor is it viable for them. So to have a slice of that pie, it's a big deal. Now, they've already got, just so you know, they've already got 2 brokers on board, and one of them is one of the biggest boat brokers in the industry. Like, this guy dominates the boat industry. So what do I do that's different? I could have come in and said, hey, you know what? What's the guy paying you? I'll pay you more. What I did instead was I came from my why, and my why was this. I sat down in the meeting and said to him, Peter, I'm literally looking to align myself with a handful of boat dealers right now. However, I want to make sure that we're a match. I want to build a partnership, a team with you where we actually work together as a team, where you look at me as like a virtual staff, a part of your core team, where everything we're doing is to grow your business, not to hinder it, which means I'll never overcharge your clients. I'll never sting them with high interest rates. I'll do everything in my power to make sure that the process is smooth, and you and I are going to stay in touch and build a solid relationship, where we're actually helping each other grow, looking at ways where we can utilize each other's services to get your message out there more.
Yeah.
There was more to the spiel than this. The whole point of it, though, was I shared with him what I saw in the industry, the problems I saw that were happening, that dealers were feeling like the brokers were on other people's on the side of the client. I shared with him, knowing what was going on, all the problems that the dealerships were facing, and then told him this is what I stand for. Get this, price barely came into it. He bought my why. He bought my why and loved the fact that my message was different. That it was let's build a team, let's work together, let's actually do something pretty amazing, and work together versus as 2 separate businesses.
Wow.
He signed that day, and he sent us a $107,000 boat deal that same day. That I had the meeting with him. The relationship's building. Ironically, literally 3 days later, that dealership's called me up with another dealership that I can align with just down the road, because they bought my why.
That is powerful.
I'm sharing this with you because it is that, guys. When you have a why, people buy your why. They buy your reason for being in business, not what you do and how you do it. It's that simple. Barbie's done the same thing recently. Barbie, I don't know if any of you know, Barbie's just launched a new range of Barbies. For the first time in history, there is now tall Barbie, voluptuous Barbie, and petite Barbie. And literally, launched in America just a couple of weeks ago. Now, what's interesting is Barbie's why has always been quite strong. Barbie had to change with the times because the way it was expressing its why wasn't working anymore in society. Barbie's why was always teaching girls that they can be anything they want to be. And so Barbie, as a product, has been a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, an astronaut, or I don't know if she's been an astronaut, but she's been all these different things, right?
Yeah.
And then recently, when Barbie noticed their sales were falling, they didn't mess with the why. They because their why was so strong, they could innovate the how and the what to be able to come back and shine in the marketplace again. Now, all over the world, Barbie sales have gone up because mothers of today's age they don't want to teach their daughters that they have to be super skinny and super perfect to be accepted anymore. They want their daughters to love themselves for who they are because they went through the emotional mess of having all those complexes. So now Barbie's won back its marketplace because its why was so strong. The why was be anything you want to be. And the how got changed really easily and innovated really easily because the why was so strong.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for you to go deep and go, what's your why? What is your why in business? Why are you here? Like, what's the why that's bigger than you, that drives your marketing, that drives your desire to stay in business even when times are tough? What is it for you? What would you add to that, Quinton?
I think it goes even deeper than just business. For myself, it was I had to come up, or not come up, I was asking myself that question for 2 hours, walking up and down in my apartment. Why do I get up in the morning and why do I go to sleep at night? What drives me, not just on a business level, but in a life purpose? And that they had to be congruent, because for business, it was the agency. So why was I waking up? And I thought it was to create an affordable solution for service professionals to get their message out there. That's what I thought I was getting up for each and every morning. But then I was waking up and then I was thinking about personal. Why do I speak to certain friends about their life? Why do they keep calling me? And then I was thinking, why did I start this whole coaching business in the beginning, right from the beginning? Why did I do studies in this? Why did I learn this? And it really came to me. And the moment it hit me, Gabs, it really hit me in the gut. So I think the question to ask is really, why do you do what you do? And for 4 years, I could explain to everyone what it is that I was doing and how I was doing it. What was doing Facebook stuff? How is just the details, the minor details that everyone gets bored at because not everyone is into the finer stuff. So it really came to like, but no one really asked me why, and I couldn't explain to anyone why until that day. And it hit me in the gut. It hit me at the moment I felt it, it hit me in the soul. And my why is each and every morning I wake up because it's for the sake of inspiring and empowering people in their capabilities to achieve their dreams. And this is true in all areas. It is true in the people that I speak with, each and every person that I speak with on the street. It is to discover their story, that I believe everyone has a story. And then it comes to, wow, like what else? And really inspiring them and to empower them to achieve their dreams. And I've been doing this day in, day out since I was about 13 years old. 13 years old was a tipping point in my life when I started behaving this way, but not really knowing why. And now the agency's part of that is using it as the megaphone to amplify my why. It is really to start spreading the love. And the big vision for the agency is to connect inspiring people with their audiences. And the mission is to share their inspiring stories beyond borders. It really comes to the point where if enough people, my belief is, and this is the world that I'm envisioning, and the reason why I'm getting up each and every morning, this is my cause, is I'm envisioning a world where everyone is inspired and empowered to achieve their dreams, where everyone has the capability of achieving their dreams. They just don't have the right skills, or they're not empowered enough or not inspired enough to know exactly how to do it, and so forth. So that is my thing, and the agency allows me to work with inspiring people to share their story to another audience and really amplify that message. So that's how I know that I'm waking up each and every morning living in my cause, and I act through that each and every day. So
yep.
It really goes deeper than just a business. The business comes as another what to achieve your personal why. And in the beginning, if you are the solopreneur, if you are the person that is starting your own business, or you are the sole person of your business, there should be no incongruency between the business and yourself. That the reason why you're in business should be aligned with your personal why. Otherwise, you're there for different reasons, and that's cool too. But to really excel and to come from your heart, it needs to be aligned. And once you've hit that spot, boy, it feels good. Like it is literally, every time I speak about it, I feel empowered. I get pumped up. It is, my physiology changes, my voice changes. Everything just goes from now I'm in my cause, and now I can be in my excellence and want to work with only those people that I believe their story can change the world. So not everyone is in line with my vision or my why, and that's cool too. I respect that. But those that are, we become the bestest friends. We become great partners, raving fans, because they keep speaking about it to other people. And that is why the power of why is so powerful. I mean, if you think about Martin Luther King, on August the 28th, 1963.
Well done.
Yeah, I've been practicing because this is part of the mission of the agency, is to inspire 250 people around the world. 50,000 people.
I was going to say that.
And it really just goes back to the history with Martin Luther King Jr. with on August 28th, 1963, 250,000 million rocked up in Washington to hear him speak about his world-famous speech with "I have a dream." And we want to create, and he led the civil rights movement. He was able to create change. Not him physically because he can't change the legislation, but he created a movement of inspiring people, of empowering people, and all of those people, millions of people. It wasn't just white, it wasn't just blacks. It was whites and blacks. It was no racial tension. Everyone was there for a greater vision that he believed in. I have a dream of equality, and we are following the same vision with the agency to reach that benchmark. I believe once that benchmark is reached, that will be phenomenal in the world, in the change that it can create. And I mean, it's great to say the entire world, but even in the local community, I mean, if you can change one person's world, that is their world. And if you can inspire and empower one person, you've already changed their world. And that is how we know that we are living in cause. So it goes back in looking at great leaders. And if anyone is listening, you need to get the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Reading that book has given me the thinking behind all of this now and the actions and putting all of this in place, knowing that we are in it for greater good. Get the book, read it, listen to it, and implement it.
Start With Why, Simon Sinek. And it also comes in audio format, peoples. So if you don't like reading, you can listen. Because you're here, you like to listen. So technically that tells me that you'll be easily... you'll easily listen to this book too.
And there's this, it's proven over and over when you look at great companies who have revolutionized the world and their industry, who have challenged the status quo. Look at Steve Jobs. You look at how he has taken the concept of challenging the status quo, not only with Apple, but inventing the blue box way before Apple was invented. The blue box, for those that don't know, it was to challenge the phone companies to be able to make phone calls without being charged for it. So they were already challenging the big AT&T company in America for dominating being the system of phone coverage. And that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, they were already living their why way before they've started Apple. And it is through Apple they were able to amplify that. That's their megaphone. That was just to shoot up. And to think about Harley Davidson, for example, and Simon Sinek explains it beautifully in the book, how Harley Davidson stated their why so consistently, so powerfully, that people would go and tattoo a corporate image on their body, not really owning, not even owning the physical motorbike, but being part of a bigger why, being part of that group, that belonging. So you could go out there, and here's another thing that I haven't shared with you yet, and it only struck me the other day. Reason why most people fail on social media, and what I mean by fail is they spend money on ads trying to generate leads and leverage their company, but they fail, is they keep on posting and advertising what's. They keep on advertising results. And because everyone is advertising what's and results and how's, that is just, people are competing. You're becoming a commodity. You are sharing stuff that people can compete with on price and faster and quicker and everything. And you expect to dominate in that field. See, this is why they're failing, because they're lacking the why. If you were to introduce your cold audience, and we spoke about this in the previous one, people that don't know about you, if you were to introduce them to your bigger version or your bigger vision, your purpose, your why, your big thinking, and then retargeting them with what and following up consistently with your marketing, that will guarantee you that you're going to be more favorable in their eyes if they are in line with your why. So that's another nugget, and we'll dive deeper into this with strategy, but it is stop sharing what's. What is all of the results as that come from your house. If you're constantly advertising what's, so the results, and that could be in the sense of $50 haircuts, and that's all what's. But if you really go into your why and why you're running this hair salon, why you've started this chiropractic business, why you've started this dentistry, why you've started this mechanic business, all of your big picture why, your bigger thing, and then go and introduce the what, people wouldn't even care about price. They would happily pay more expensive or more a premium as long as they are part of a bigger why, as long as they're feeling part of their belonging. But if you can't explain your why, if you can't articulate it, then people don't really know what to make out of it. So they expect the least, which is your quality and your price, and that's what they will compete on. So to get ahead of your competition, it is simply just articulate your why to as many people, and use Facebook as the megaphone to amplify that.
Love that. Absolutely love that. And so as you're listening to this, do consider that for yourself, because ultimately there's a couple of things. One, you can be very direct with your why story, meaning that you just talk about your why story, the way that we've been talking about ours today. The other is that you actually embody your why story every time you communicate, meaning that when you step out of your house, you walk and talk your brand, and your brand is the identity and the character of your why. I ran an event a couple of weeks ago called the Business Freedom Intensive. It's an event I run every couple of months as an absolute, love my market type of event. I share my whole business freedom machine in that event, give you everything, like all my gold that I've spent, over 15 years, acquiring, fine-tuning, and reverse engineering. The purpose of that event is purely to show people what's available, to give them the map, the road map, for them to be able to achieve all of their goals and dreams. And if, after that they want to stay on and continue building it with me, so be it. The who I am when I'm on stage always comes from my why, my reason for being in business and having my coaching business, which quite frankly, I still remember the day this happened. There was this day where I personally had achieved a certain level of success in my business, and I saw colleagues and friends struggling in theirs, and there was this click inside of me that said, I must show these people. They need to know what's missing. They're missing a component. They've got what they do nailed. They're brilliant at what they do. However, they're missing how to really succeed and create freedom and true business success. So I made it my mission to go out and share it. Now, this is the thing. When I run this event, this particular event is an event that I sell my programs from, and my intention when I run it is never to sell. It's always my why that's on stage, meaning that I'm not standing there on stage thinking in my head, that I'm going to get all of you in my program. It's purely I'm so there with them. I give as much value as I possibly can in the moment. I think if I never get to see you again, I want to give you as much as possible, because I want you to be able to live your dream, manifest what you want, and make this world a better place to live in for everybody. Show people what's possible, that, that success is not an elusive, strange thing. It's actually inevitable when you've got the right structure. And that fuels me. And this is where, people would literally come into that event, never have seen me before, hadn't even followed my stuff, could have come in straight from an ad for the event. And they'll spend one day with me, and because of my why, at the end of it, they'll actually, they'll sign up to my programs. It's why that does that. To take someone who's never met you before and spend a bit of time with you and to buy a high-ticket item, it's only your why that's actually going to get them to do that and not regret the decision. It's funny, the statistics at live events. So if you've ever been to seminars where people sell you stuff, I was baffled at this. Statistically speaking, most seminar selling or selling from stage has an extremely high, the word I'm looking for, cancellation rate, meaning that they do all this stuff to try and make you sign up on the day. The percentage of people that actually want to renege and get out of it within the first days after after being there are massive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names here, but some of the big names out there have a 70% renege. 70%, Quinton,
That's
of the people.
ridiculous.
70% renege. On like the point I'm trying to make here is I don't. With me, like I do interviews with all the people that sign up to my programs, and the only reason they don't get in is because I don't think they're a fit, and I don't think they're going to be the best fit for my community, and I don't think I'm the right person for them. Aside from that, though, I don't have reneges. I don't have people freaking out and saying, oh, you know, I made a mistake, and it's because of my why. It's because when I'm on stage, I'm standing in. I want to help you. I authentically want you to live your friggin' dream, and I'm going to give you as much as I possibly can. My intent, like, I'm not sitting there thinking about selling you. I'm right now with you, wanting to help, wanting to serve, because my why is the more people I can take to a place of really living their dream, the better world I create, which means that 100 years from now, the people living on this planet will have a much better experience because everybody else has evolved to a level of thinking that success is the norm. And it's important. So if you're listening to this, and you are because, you wouldn't have heard that question. While you're listening to this, really do ask yourself, what's my why? What's my true reason for being in business that's bigger than myself?
Yeah.
That will have me keep going. That I can actually infuse into my marketing, infuse into the way that I deliver my service, and everything I do in my client experience, and take online, so I can make more difference. So I can actually have a bigger impact, leave a legacy, have more meaning.
Yeah,
that's my question to you.
It also adds to it with the people that are part of your team, for them to want to know why they're in it. So you could go and get the greatest employees based on skills, and you're going to pay a premium for them. The reason, the downfall is they will stay there for as long as the money keeps coming in. Or if you've got a big legacy, if you've got a big why, if you've got that big vision that you want to fulfill and you want to leave a legacy, getting the right people on board starts with why. The same as how you get the right clients on board, it happens with getting the right team on board by sharing your why with them. And if the right people are on board, if you've got the right team, they won't even negotiate on the price, because they know that they are big. They're part of a bigger version. They're part of a bigger mission. They're part of a big journey ahead, and they feel proud to be part of it. Now, as much as we have the big whys, we also have how people, and those that don't really speak about the why as much, but they do live up to it, and they're happy to stay in the background, making that why come to life. So when you are looking at getting your people on board, starting to build your team, starting to leverage your business, moving out of it, getting more freedom, getting more of your lifestyle back, you need to be able to articulate that to your team. You need to be able to articulate that to your recruitments, and only if they are a match. Like Gabby is doing with the interview, as she's bringing people into a program. She only wants to have the right people into a program. The same goes for your team. You want to have the right people in on your team. So start by having a conversation on your big why this company has been established, why it is the megaphone for your big vision. And only if they are aligned with it, and test them over and over in the beginning to make sure that they are in it for the bigger why. And they will happily work for you. They will happily make that reality come true. And I've experienced this by recently hiring my first two full-time employees, contractors. And we never had the discussion around money. It just never came up. It was simply, cool, this is what it is. And they happily accept it. But we spoke a lot about the why. And I had to be able to articulate it to them. And that got me thinking how to articulate it better, to make sure that they get empowered, they can feel the passion. And it wasn't until Paul told me, one of my Facebook experts, it wasn't until Paul told me that your enthusiasm is rubbing off on me, that I knew that I hit the nerve and I hit it right. So I know that I'm confident, because now there is trust that I've got the right people that will help fulfill that vision. So it same goes with those of you that are listening, that have your team. The question is, are they aware of your why? Have you articulated it well enough to them so that they know what they're actually in for?
Yep. And honestly, it makes it epic. Just the other day, I was having a meeting with my with my business manager for my finance brokerage, who also cruise and supports me when I run my seminars. And she says to me, it's beautiful to have meetings and to create stuff with your staff and have them turn around and say to you, I believe in your vision so much, I'd follow you anywhere without question. I trust in your leadership. No matter what you tell me, I'm there because I believe in your vision 110%.
Yeah.
There's the way she shows up, the ideas she brings to the table. She'll call me up with great ideas to excel the business. Like, I think I should have thought of that. There's a part of me going, hold on, why didn't I think of that? But this comes from someone who believes in your why. Your staff, when they believe in your why, will actually innovate and think outside the box and be proactive. The staff that doesn't, the staff that's not in line with your why and isn't on a mission, so to speak, with you, they don't. They just come do their 9 to 5. They'll often call in sick, and you'll churn and burn through them. You'll have staff issues because they're not on your mission with you. One, you either haven't identified your mission, or two, you don't know how to articulate your mission to them and onboard the right staff in the first place that will blow you away at how committed and devoted and loyal they are, meaning somebody else in your industry could offer them, twice the money, but they won't leave.
Exactly.
Because what they have with you is tribe, it's family, it's community, it feels good. It's not that many people on this planet feel good at their jobs. It's just most of them. It's funny. Years ago, one of my mentors says to me, one of the worst questions, actually, after gosh, it was a while ago, about a decade ago, a mentor at the time was sitting down, and I was meeting a person of importance for the first time, to them, and we're talking, and I say, okay, what do you do, to this person who was important to my mentor, and the person answered the question. I can't remember what he said now. My mentor at the end of it pulls me aside and says, Gabby, never ask a person what they do in a social gathering when you're meeting new people. I'm like, why? It's just a standard thing that everyone does. It's like, hey, I'm Bob, I'm in insurance. It's just, to me, it was this normal thing. It was just one of the questions that you asked. It was social etiquette or something. It was like rapport building, yeah. And he goes to me, 95% of the people on this planet hate their friggin' jobs.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't. I totally forgot that most people out there are factory workers and, garbologists and whatever. They're working for companies that are cold corporate monsters that don't give a hoot about them. Whatever the reason, majority of the people on the planet hate their jobs. And it's the shittest question you could possibly ask, which then says to me, one of my missions is to help business owners build teams that are epic, build teams that love being there, that produce phenomenal results, and break this, smash this to pieces, where that whole don't ask someone what they do, is actually the wrong advice. That, years from now, the first question you want to ask someone is, what do they do? Because their eyes light up when they talk about it.
Yeah.
So ultimately it's that, when you know your why, when you can inject that why into your team, choose the right team that's a match for your mission, your why, you create an environment that's extraordinary, that's beyond your imagining, because these people, they are just so loyal. They produce phenomenal results, and it's definitely worth doing.
I think loyalty is the word that I was waiting for with whether it's your employees or whether it's clients. If you've articulated your why so clear and they are part of the why, and that's where loyalty comes from, it doesn't matter what someone else is offering. Again, the key word is what. It doesn't matter what else is out there, they are part of the why. It's the only way that you will create loyalty amongst everyone that you associate with. Big
Yes,
picture.
I agree.
Big picture
Agreed.
why.
So now for all you awesome listeners, it's your opportunity to create your purpose, your why, your vision, and make it so sexy that other people will jump on board and buy into it, that it'll attract and magnify to you people that are wanting to follow you and your mission.
Yeah, and it's also an invitation to be creative with it, to let your imagination go. I mean, think about the world that you envision, and think about the difference that you think you're making or that you want to make, and start there. Start at a place that you've got this end goal. I mean, it's all well to have a car and be able to go for a drive, but it's better if you have a destination, and that is how you know that you're making progress. So for me, it was the difference that made a difference was I started thinking about the world that I envisioned, and I took that from Martin Luther King Jr., where he envisioned a world of blacks and whites being equal, and that's what he moved towards. And then he shared his beliefs, and that is his why. A why is a belief. It is a certainty that you have. It is the vision that you're trying to create. The how is how you do it, and the what is the result of everything that you've been doing. If you've got congruency between your why and your what, people will be looking at your results and they'll be seeing that they'll be able to take your why from it. But if you're doing what's, if your what is all over the place, people don't really know what is your purpose. They won't be able to put the common link together. So for me, it was really thinking about the world that I wished I lived in, and the how would that be? What is that end destination? And then what had to be true, and how does that affect, or how does that reflect based on my behavior in the past? And that's when it hit me. It is I wake up each and every morning excited to look at clients' campaigns, because I believe in their story. If enough people hear their story, see their story, watch their story, it could change the world. And that's when it evolved from there, that my why is to inspire and empower people in their capabilities to achieve their dreams.
Yep.
And guys, this takes a while. I mean, for 4 years, I'll be able to tell you what I did and how I did it. And it's only after reading the book where it's actually hit me in the gut. So really take the time and expect it to evolve as you keep on evolving as well.
And your why does evolve, it does. For some of you, you've already got one, and your job is to articulate it to other people that are part of your team. For some of you, you have one, but it's okay. It's not sexy enough, meaning it doesn't actually make your eyes light up and your whole body straighten up, your shoulders go back, and you just feel like you can do anything. And it's about you tapping in and being a little bit more vulnerable and honest with yourself as to what would really drive you.
Yeah.
For some of you, it's going to take a while. For some of you, it won't. It's just everyone's a bit different on this journey to their why. But once you ask the question, you'll start getting the answers. And be open to the fact that as you grow in your business, your why can shift sometimes. Or there could be more depth and more story that goes around it. Ultimately, what you're looking for is that moment where you're like, oh, that's it, and it's worth everything. That no matter what happens, I will continue and I won't quit. There are going to be times in business where you have highs, and there's going to be times where there's some lows. And without a strong why, without a strong mission, this is where so many businesses fail. This is why, one of the reasons why so many businesses are closing their doors.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a reason bigger than money to be there. And secondly, they don't have the strategies, which we're kindly giving right now, to grow their business and to improve their marketing and to just keep improving how they do business. So get curious about this. Check out Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. Check it out on audio, in audio books, if you prefer to listen. And we'd love to know how you go. So we'd absolutely love to know. Reach out to us through Facebook, or any other way you can. The Facebook pretty much. And let us know how you go. It'd be brilliant to hear more awesome stories. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks for the awesome chat, Quinton.
Thank you, Gabs. Thank you for your time. And everyone, thank you so much for your time as well, for tuning in. You guys have been amazing. And thank you so much for being part of our bigger why, and that is to share the love to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Honestly, because of you, we get to do what we love and we get to live our mission, and it means the world to us. So thank you so much. And you're so good at listening. I mean, goodness, you never interrupt.
Great communication skills. Love it.
Great listeners. Once again, have whatever you're doing, if it's the evening, the morning, the night, whenever you're listening to this, have either a phenomenal day, a phenomenal evening, have a rocking week, and we'll chat next time.
Done deal. See you, Gabs. Thank you.
Bye, Quinton.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino. If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.